they are, but if we don't fix the economy and jobs and education, I'm not sure it matters what else we do. And I believe that every governor has only so much political capital, only so much leadership capability, only so much ability to move forward and get things done. So it's not that this isn't important. What I'm saying is I have got to focus on getting Californians back to work, on creating a better business climate in California, on getting government spending under control, and fixing our K-12 education system. And I cannot underestimate the importance to you of fixing our kindergarten through 12th grade education system. It has so many implications on social issues and other things. You know, when you don't have, there are communities in California where only 50% of the students graduate from high school. So if you do not graduate from high school, what is exactly that you're going to do here? So I respect your position, and I'm going to focus on, as I said, jobs and spending and education. So thank you. Us too?
Oh, I'd just like to know, because of the economy and so forth, all this craziness about global warming.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know you mentioned three things, and let's face it, in regards to our fiscal responsibility, what is your plans to do for global warming, and what do you stand on it?
Yeah. So you probably know that I was the first gubernatorial candidate to actually sound the alarm on AB 32. And AB 32, as you know, is that bill that is designed to bring greenhouse gas emissions back down to 1990 levels. And here's the issue that I have. One is it continues to disadvantage California to neighboring states. We have one of the worst business climates out of all 50 states. We are bleeding jobs to Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Texas, and Arizona. And you know why? It's cheaper and easier to do business in those states than it is in California. So no neighboring state has anything like AB 32. You know, I think of Oregon as a pretty green state, nothing like AB 32. We are under attack by Colorado and Texas around our green technology industry. They don't have anything like AB 32. You know how they compete for those jobs? They compete through tax incentives, through enterprise zones, and to acting interested. Here's a really interesting point for you. Did you know that the single biggest city outside of Silicon Valley for green jobs is Houston, Texas? You know why? They've redefined themselves not as the oil city, but the energy city. And so they are working very hard to get those jobs. So my view is, I called for a one-year moratorium on the implementation of AB 32. Let's see if we can be smart and green and not continue to drive businesses out of California. And let's not guardrail from one side to the other. Let's study the issue, let's understand the unintended consequences here, and let's do something that doesn't disadvantage California. The other thing I would say that we've got to do is we've got to streamline regulation. And I'll tell you a little story. When I was the president and CEO of eBay, we wanted to build a new building for our PayPal subsidiary. 3,000 white-collar jobs in Silicon Valley. I thought the state would be my new best friend. How do we get the building built faster? How do we expedite this process? How do we get 3,000 people to work? Hardly. 2.5 years later, 25 permits, 3 consulting firms needed to navigate the labyrinth of state and city and county regulations. It's not competitive. In Texas, they've undergone a whole redesign of their approval process. You can get permits for a building like we wanted to build in Silicon Valley. 2 months, you're up and running because they got an ombudsman who's focused on every single industry that they want to bring to Texas. All right, why don't we do one more right in the back there.
Just a quick question. How are you going to fix education?
I'll give you the highlights of my plan. And this is something I am so passionate about. As I said, it is not okay for the vast majority of children to be denied a chance at a terrific education. And there are many fine public schools in California. Maybe some of your children or grandchildren go to them, but I can tell you the vast majority are not doing the job. So here's the first thing. We've got to get more money into the classroom. Of the $70 billion that we spend every year at federal and state and local levels, only 60% goes to the classroom, 40% goes to administration and overhead. Can you imagine? Where are the children? They are in the classroom. And so let's get more money into the classroom. Then I want to empower local school districts to make the decisions that are right for your